Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button if you guys are enjoying the content that we're throwing up. And make sure you guys hit the like button if you enjoy the video. And yeah, let's begin. What's going on, guys? This is Rob, and welcome back to another episode of Beyond Omega Level. You guys loved the video on Shumagorath, so let me know if you guys want me to cover like any stories belonging to Shumagorath, right? I didn't realize you guys were going to love it that much. I was like, all right, we'll make a video about Shumagorath, a giant tentacle monster with one eye, and then we'll see how it performs. It's like, holy hell, this video is blowing up. That's usually the best indicator of what you guys enjoy. Like, that's usually the test that I use to figure out what it is that you guys like, right? Because there's just so many people talking. If I say, hey guys, do you want this? There's just so many people seeing things. So the easiest way to determine what you guys do and do not like is what you guys watch, right? Because people don't watch videos they don't like. The only exception that I have with that, if it's just something that I really want to cover and I don't really care how well it does, then I'll just do stuff like Transformers, right? I never really expect Transformers to blow up on my channel, but I just like covering because it's just cool. But yeah, so you guys, like a lot of you guys watch Shumagorath. A lot of you guys really seem to love Shumagorath. So let me know if you want me to make like a video, you know, like either an explained video or like some videos on like stories about Shumagorath, like he shows up and does some things. Let me know. But in this video, we are focusing on the son of Franklin Richards, Hyperstorm. So Hyperstorm was created by Tom DeFalco and Paul Ryan and first appeared in Fantastic Four number 406 in 1995. And to understand the origin of Jonathan Reed Richards, we first have to talk about the classic X-Men story, Days of Future Past. So Days of Future Past is one of the most iconic X-Men stories ever, and it was written by really the most iconic X-Men writer of all time. Of course, I'm talking about Chris Claremont, and it was drawn by John Byrne in Uncanny X-Men issues 141 and 142 in 1981. I don't mean to make that sound like an aside, right? Like, it was written by Chris Claremont and drawn by John Byrne. Like, I don't mean to make it seem that way, but the storyline actually takes place in an alternate future, so not in the main Marvel continuity, and in this continuity, which is designated Earth 811, mutants are the victims of extreme persecution, and they're all either killed by the Sentinels or imprisoned. And all this comes in response to the assassination of Robert Kelly, Moore McTaggart, and Charles Xavier. All that resolves by Rachel Summers sending Kitty Pryde's consciousness back into her younger self to warn the X-Men to stop the assassination from coming about. And so in an offshoot of that universe dubbed Earth 967, we see Rachel Summers, who's the daughter of Scott Summers and Jean Grey, and Franklin Richards, the son of Reed and Susan Storm, are basically married, and they have a son named Jonathan. Now, predictably, since both of his parents are Omega level mutants, Jonathan is the most powerful being in his reality. But unlike his parents, Jonathan decides to use his powers to conquer the entire universe and serving as a cruel dictator of all the worlds that he's conquered. Now, once Hyperstorm learns of the Fantastic Four, he begins hatching a plan to terrorize them. Now, the first phase of his plan was to pull the villain Tomorrow Man, who had the ability to time travel, out of the time stream and send him back in time to battle the Fantastic Four, and then captures both Reed Richards and Dr. Doom, trapping Reed in a pocket dimension and throwing Dr. Doom in jail. Now, believing Mr. Fantastic to be dead, the Fantastic Four are devastated, but they are able to trace the movements of Tomorrow Man back to Hyperstorm's reality, and they travel there to find out what in the heck is going on, but he is summarily able to defeat them all. Now, it isn't until Reed is able to wake up Galactus that Hyperstorm was able to be defeated, as Galactus recognized Hyperstorm as a nearly limitless source of power and tried to consume him. Now, after a battle between Hyperstorm and Galactus, they're both involuntarily transported back to the dimensional void that had housed Galactus prior to his awakening, where Reed predicts that they'll be locked in an eternal struggle. Of course, we know that didn't actually happen because we've seen Galactus many times since then, while Hyperstorm has not appeared since, at least to my knowledge. And so, as to what Hyperstorm's powers actually are, he describes himself as wielding the supreme power, which allows him to manipulate the major forces of the universe: electromagnetism, gravity, and strong and weak nuclear forces. He also states that these forces come from hyperspace, a limited source of energy, which means that his abilities are basically infinite. Hyperstorm is able to use the supreme power to perform a variety of feats due to the fact that controlling all the fundamental forces of the universe allows him to manipulate matter and energy, which makes him practically omnipotent. Now, we have seen him use his abilities in a variety of ways, including increasing his physical strength to a level far beyond the Thing, and according to Reed Richards, at least equal to the combined strength of the Thing and Namor. Hyperstorm also has an insane level of durability, most notably standing up to the full brunt of the Nova Flame from the Human Torch without showing any indication that he felt any kind of pain. He's also not overly affected by Susan Storm's force field vibrations, which she reveals are also rooted in the hyperspace dimension. So because Hyperstorm is able to control all the forces from that hyperspace, he's even able to endure them being used against him with only minor discomfort. He's also used energy manipulation to produce energy blasts capable of taking out Susan Storm, Thing, Namor, and Doctor Doom's son, Christophe Renard, all in one shot, which is quite an impressive feat given the durability of those characters and the fact that Susan Storm was able to create force fields that could hold off the Celestials. In addition to his energy manipulation, Hyperstorm is an extremely capable telekinetic, and his telekinesis has often been used in ways that are pretty close to reality warping. For example, he was able to move the air molecules around him fast enough to create a tornado that put out the Human Torch's flame, which has the same amount of energy as an exploding star. When battling Namor, Hyperstorm creates a tree that's able to siphon off all of Namor's moisture, which effectively means that he's altering Namor's cellular makeup. It's also worth pointing out that the amount of moisture that exists within Namor is extremely high due to his Atlantean physiology, and as a result, the tree absorbs so much moisture that the Human Torch is almost unable to destroy it with his flame. When confronted by Ben Grimm, Hyperstorm is able to hold him in place and heal extensive damage that had been done to his face. Now, it's unclear by what mechanism he's able to do this, whether it's just by moving the molecules around or whether he does possess some kind of reality warping abilities, which would make sense given his lineage since Franklin Richards is a universal constant reality warper. But at any rate, it shows us that Hyperstorm is basically able to do anything his mind can conceive of. Now, additionally, Hyperstorm possesses several other powers, including invisibility, teleportation through hyperspace, and a regenerative healing factor. He's also displayed a wide array of telepathic abilities, including the ability to read and control the minds of others, cause hallucinations, cloak his presence from others, and limited astral projection. He also possesses a genius-level intellect and has put it to use inventing extremely advanced technologies such as a time machine, a device called a brain disserator, which disrupts the neural pathways of whoever it's used on, and nearly indestructible robots known as Destructoids. And so although Hyperstorm has only made a handful of appearances and was only around for one singular story arc, what we do know about him allows us to put him firmly in the beyond Omega level category. He possesses the attributes of both of his parents, the psychic abilities of Rachel Summers, and the reality warping abilities of Franklin Richards, as well as his grandfather's supreme intelligence. He's able to harness the fundamental forces of the universe, is able to manipulate matter on a molecular level, and was able to conquer every inhabited world in his universe and destroy the Fantastic Four on every known plane of reality, except of course the Fantastic Four from Earth 616. And since we know Galactus is definitely beyond Omega level, and Hyperstorm was thought to be able to be powerful enough to battle him for all of eternity, or at least until another writer wanted to use Galactus, we can basically say that he's at this same level as well. But with that being said, guys, we're going to bring this video to an end. If you are new here to Comics Explained, make sure you guys hit the sub button to become part of the Rob Corps. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like, and I will catch you all later. Peace.